Good day, dear listeners of Radio Free FM. we shouldn't drink beer by the interviews, but I left it in. Anyway, okay. We have fun. Next to me sits Julian. And Julian, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing in Birchip?
So my name's Julian Smith. I'm a musician. I live about 50 k's away from where Philip is currently interviewing me, which is on a very nice be-timbered deck in Birchip, and it's currently 11 p.m. on November 30th, 2018. I'm a musician, and Philip's just seen my show for the first time. He actually witnessed the first show of the first tour I've ever done. So you're at the start.
Good effort. What are you? What brings you to Birchip? Like, how did the story goes?
All right. So, even though I live 50 k's away, I used to come here daily for school, to and fro, twice a day, 5 days a week, and being the kind of philosophical creature I am, I thought it would be a really good idea to come back. Volume. Indeed. Yeah, I think you get that, dear listeners, don't you? I'll sit closer like that. How's that? I thought it would be a good idea to come back to a place that I made sure misinterpreted me when I was a child. I made sure I was a... I'll be really kind. What's twat in German?
Twat?
Twat. Like asshole.
Asshole, Arschloch.
Schmutzglitzen.
Arschloch. You can say that in the radio.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're fine with that. Look, I made sure I had a pretty unenjoyable childhood, and I was here at school for a number of years, and I made myself look like a really unpleasant person, not because I was bullying or anything, but just to the things I was doing to myself around the time. And I thought it'd be nice to come back and give people a completely fresh perspective of a guy that they thought they knew, that I'm now pretty sure they have an opinion that they don't. Vaguely philosophical.
I know that story. I know Phil. He's playing trombone and driving around the world with a push bike.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, I know a guy.
He's crazy. He called Phil.
Yeah, right.
What are your idols? What are your inspiration?
Oh, am I allowed to be particularly Germanic in my answer? Okay, Depeche Mode.
Yeah,
that's my start.
I hear that.
You
had an influence of Gothic,
yeah,
small little bit.
I was considerably part of the Melbourne goth scene for a while.
Well,
yeah, right. In what some would call a past life, but musically, they're an enormous influence on me. Because they're strong songwriters, but they're strong pop songwriters, and they can bend some pretty dark philosophy into a pretty cool pop song. And I'm an admirer of anybody that can do that. So Depeche are there. I'll stay with the Germanic references and definitely go Rammstein. Mind you, if I was going Germanic, Gina G was big in Germany, and she was fucking horrible. And she was Australian, and I'm really sorry we did that to you. Just a little bit. A little bit more.
No worries.
No, good. You don't know it?
No, we don't know it.
Nobody wants that. seriously, in terms of idols, there's a lot of Australian bands, obviously. I'm going to reference them regardless of whether you know them or not. The guy you can possibly hear in the background at the moment, even though he's not Australian, is quite important to me, and that's one of the guys from the Buzzcocks. And Boom Crash Opera are important to me. You might not know them. You might know the Sharp. They toured the Sharp toured Germany successfully. So I worked with their producer yonks ago, 20 years ago or so. I worked with him, and he's still one of my idols, and he's from Boom Crash Opera.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's the guitarist in Boom Crash Opera. His name's Peter Farnan. If he ever hears this, he knows I'm giddy over him and that I would, I would do things. But we worked together. He was very generous to me. And his offsider in Boom Crash Opera, the other guitarist, Richard Pleasance, is super, super important to me. He's the guy that first gave me the notion of being able to express a depressive tendency safely. And that's really important to me. Depeche Mode didn't do it safely. Depeche Mode could express your depressive tendency, but you would get stuck there. Richard Pleasance would express it as a form of catharsis to get out the other side. And I think that's an important differentiation to make. Sound sensible?
Yeah, sounds good. What was your funniest moment or craziest moment on stage?
Oh, on stage?
On stage.
All right, can you ask me one about not on stage so that I remember?
Okay,
it's worth talking about in a bit. My stupidest... All right, it wasn't crazy, but it was just fucking sad. Okay, so I used to get tonsillitis massively as a child, through my teens and in my early 20s, yeah? And I got one bout so badly that ended up in hospital, got them removed. But it was the kind of hospital in Melbourne where they really didn't give a fuck. So I was sent out the day I had the operation, ended up bleeding from the tonsils for another couple of weeks. But I had a gig later that week in... now people will know exactly... If anybody from Dandenong is listening to this, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The Storm Club on a Friday night. I was in a cover band. And I was... part of my job was being a vocalist, but I was a bass player in that particular band as well. And I couldn't sing because I was bleeding. And so I wore a very, very, very fancy scarf and had to sit through a 3-hour show doing nothing, saying nothing because I was dreadfully fucking ill, had no voice, had no tonsils, and wore a scarf. You know, I'm surprised I made it out of there alive because not only did I look kind of feminine, which I potentially am, I didn't say anything. And for a singer, that's a little difficult. So that was an odd moment. I will classify that as odd rather than crazy. There's been underwear. There's been... How do I put this? Sexually explicit moments that were unwelcome from me. No, yeah, from me? Yes, from me, from others. Done to me, done at me. Yeah, it's like... Picture a version of a lemon meringue pie in a comedy film coming at you, but it being sexual. That's what it was for me. I didn't want the pie, I didn't want the sexuality, and that was intense. That's my answer for that. Can I give you my response for not on stage, stupid moment? All right. Philip's raising his eyebrows.
Go on.
So, Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode. So, I used to be a journalist, and I wrote for a music paper. And I got an interview with Depeche Mode when they toured Australia so they played Melbourne in 1994, February 1994. I think it might have been February 4th, 1994. And I got an interview with them for the day after their show. It was fucking terrible. I was awful because I was giddy and starstruck. Do you know the members of Depeche Mode, Philip?
Oh.
All right, so the shit, the shit useless one who was the manager, which is Fletch. I'm sorry if you hear this, Fletch, ever, but you know your role. You're fine, and you know you humiliated me, and that's fine too. Anyway, So I was totally giddy. I was going through a massive Depeche Mode stage at that moment, hence why I was chasing for an interview in the first place. Awful interview. Me trying to crawl up Fletcher's ass and Schmutzglitzen. And it was an awful interview. There were a few of us there. We were all fans rather than journalists. We all lost our minds, and Fletch left the tour that day and got hospitalised for some mental conditions.
God.
and so we all pile drove him with stupid journalistic questions that were fan-based rather than journalistic-based. I feel a little responsible that I made Fletch go to mental house to escape a tour at his Melbourne date. Meanwhile, Dave Garn's upstairs in the Como in South Melbourne, probably having a pretty good time with heroin. It was just socially awkward. But I got a photo signed. I was all good. You can hear my voice increasing in pitch. I was very nervous. Anyway, that's my stupid story. Yeah.
For the listeners in Germany and Europe, Schnell. You're planning a European tour. What about it? Where do you play? Do you have any information? And how can the listeners can find you?
Firstly, in terms of tracking me down, people can find me on Spotify, on YouTube. Don't look for the American Julian Smith. He's confusing, and and I'm also not a black trumpeter with an afro, who I've received royalties for before. Same name, very different people, different parts of the world. The end. You can track me down on Spotify. You can track me down on YouTube. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on everywhere you would normally purchase anybody else's music or view their stuff. You can hear me in the background. That is quite surreal. I'm singing to myself. Yeah. That's weird. Anyway, that was awkward silence. In terms of European tour, we're going sniffing for 2020 dates, as in 2020. It may not be my thing you see. It may be a thing that I have with a Melbourne singer called Love. Love, yeah. Which frankly is more stylistically appropriate for Europe than my stuff is. However, I may well tack on a tour of my own stuff for a solo thing at the same time. Love, if I can reference, we're massive fans of Swedish pop. So we're huge fans of Robin. We are huge fans of ABBA. We are huge fans of Röyksopp.
David Hasselhoff?
You've got his hair. Anybody who hasn't met Philip, but I've just put two and two together now. This is awesome. Philip has David Hasselhoff hair. What was that horrible song he sang?
On German, I'm Looking for Freedom was the number one hit, but actually he had also number one hit in singing in German.
Yes.
Du allein kannst mich verstehen.
Oh, hang on. Now I want to sing.
No, but David Hasselhoff is popular in Germany and Sweden.
Vastly, and I don't get why Germany went, yeah, no, we'll take that. I don't get it.
Can I explain you? It's because of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And he was singing, I was looking for freedom.
Oh, so it was a timing thing and nothing else?
Yeah, it was just just David Hasselhoff.
But you had the Scorpions. You had Scorpions.
Yeah, they were also having a good hit.
Yeah. Well, one's better than the other. Come on, Germany. You can do Deutschland, über alles. I'm doing it wrong, but you know how it goes.
Yeah, we get the meaning. So,
eine schmale Brücke. No, I did that wrong.
No,
what is Brücke?
That's true.
What
eine
is
schmale Brücke?
Yeah. I did good.
Small. Yeah. Have you German in school?
I did actually in year 8, but I ignored it. The only German I can now remember is Rammstein. Yeah. As in, any Rammstein song, I'm generally fairly good. As in, Ich will.
My best story with Rammstein was in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland.
The capital of comedy. Yeah.
I went in a underground club, and there were there were like 7 floors, and one floor was karaoke. And I went with my mate on stage, and it was full of Scottish people, and we wished us Rammstein. And the club was going crazy. Oh, du hast me.
You did Du hast?
Yeah, of course, everybody knows that song. And then the Scottish people, they speak so good German. And my friends stand there, yeah, because they are from Germany.
I want to give Rammstein a tiny bit of royalties now. Ask me another question while I'm hunting for something on my phone.
What advice do you give me on my journey? Because I was traveling from Germany till Australia, and I want to travel around the world. So,
all right.
What
Am I
advice?
allowed to answer that with a question?
You can do it.
Yeah. Okay. What was your philosophy for leaving? What did you want to find? And I'll base my answer on that.
I got a good title from an Australian man which I met in Indonesia. He named me a cultural warrior. That was interesting.
What was he basing that on?
Because
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that's a really interesting thing to say. But
because of the 3 gadgets which I'm carrying with me.
This is one of them I'm talking into?
No.
Oh, the bike.
No.
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
The trombone, a golf stick, and
a golf stick. You didn't tell me about a golf stick.
And a Spätzlebrett.
Yeah, teach me that, please.
A Spätzlebrett is a wooden board where I can sharp Spätzle, and Spätzle are South German pasta. The egg noodles, noodles.
Yeah.
And well, it's for me, it's a present for somebody who hosts me for like a day or a couple of days in his place. And when I want to say thank you to him, I prepare him a South German meal. And that's how I say thank you.
Got me in the feels. Food is
Food is a gift.
Food is a gift.
Food is a gift. And the best thing is, I want to greet Asoka in Sri Lanka. He was one of the best because I was preparing the spätzle for him, and he just said, "Oh, that looks interesting. I prepare a curry to it."
Fuck my Rammstein thing. This is way more interesting. Who taught you?
My mother.
Her name?
Renate.
Oh, that's too cool. So you were saying you're from between Munich and Düsseldorf?
Stuttgart.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No worry. We are, the area where I live, we are Swabians, and Swabians are the badass of the Germans. Like you can
Same with your David Hasselhoff hair.
We are the badass Germans. We are the grumpy ones.
With your bike and your glow stick and your trombone and your David Hasselhoff hair.
No, not a glue stick, a golf stick.
I like yours better. Yeah, that's cool. Golf.
No, not a.
This is a weird interview, but I'm loving it. This is awesome. All right, so your mum taught you. Renata taught you.
Yeah.
What else did she teach you to make? Sadness, misery, longing. Oh, hang on.
My mother said, "Stupid is who stupid does," you know. Sounds like familiar
philosophy. What? Hang on. I need the German word for longing. I've forgotten it.
Longing.
Longing, as in. Bear with this awkward silence, radio people. Remembrance of a time gone. Longing.
A longing.
So stretch from memory to, but melancholic references. So Philip's trembling. I've made him uncomfortable. I made the Philip shake.
I'm the one who gives the questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting my philosopher's hat on, or my counselor's hat. Sorry, back to Philip. Go.
So back to the question. My question was, what advice do you give me on my journey? Especially maybe we are in Australia, so what advice do you give me through Australia?
Are you going East Coast? Or are you? What direction are you going from here?
Especially my journey is now, the date is fixed. On 8th of February, my family will come to Australia and we will take a trip together.
Have you planned where?
Oh, not even planned. We just have the date.
Okay. All right. So they're flying into Melbourne?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. February.
February.
Okay.
Hot weather.
Cool. So you need a beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to go to the Great Ocean Road.
Great Ocean Road.
Okay.
Up to Sydney.
And you. Oh no, that's the other direction.
All right.
Yeah. So Great Ocean Road goes down. Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm your map here.
Yeah.
Sorry, radio people. I'm giving visual references to Philip.
Just.
So if this is Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we're up here.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Up, yeah.
Yeah.
So up. Yep.
Geelong, around the bay.
Geelong.
And then all of that coast running southwest is the Great Ocean Road. Spectacular. Incredible. Heavy traffic. I'm giving you your warning now because it's incredibly popular during the summer. But you will never see beach or ocean like it. Incredible. Travel between Geelong and Warrnambool. You would have heard of the 12 Apostles.
Yeah.
Yep. You probably want to go check them out, but you're going to find them heavily populated and you're going to ignore them because of the vast expanse between Warrnambool and, say, Torquay. Insane beaches. Insane forever views. Longing. Son.
Sun? Yeah.
On the dish.
Okay.
They're vague references, but I'm going there. That's where I was going with the longing. On the dish. You want to be able to cool off. It's going to be February. It's going to be stinking hot, and we've got
Tasmania.
Well, even Tassie gets hot in a drought year in summer, and it's a drought year this year. You're going to have an intense summer, and it's going to be long, and it's going to be incredibly over 40 degrees.
Yeah,
it's going to be intense. So you want to be near water. Go and have a good time down the Great Ocean Road. But if you're going up to Sydney, yes, stay on the coast. Very different kind of coast to down south. Still just as heavily populated during the summer, but for all the right reasons. And obviously the further north you get, the warmer the water gets, so it gets a bit more pleasant. And it is beautiful. The singer from Love Love and I both stayed at a place called Potato Point. Sounds ridiculous. It's a beautiful little caravan park. It's cheap. It is on the coast, like it's on the beach. It is the beach. You walk out of your tent and you're in the water. It is incredible. It's cheap. Potato Point. And I mean that in all seriousness. That would be a place for special memory.
All right.
Yeah.
I will go there. That sounds fair. To my final last question is, and that's a double question or double meaning. What's your favorite song? So it means what's your favorite song from your music project?
Okay.
And what's your... Yeah.
Okay. So of mine... I'm pretty sure I haven't written mine yet. So, without dodging the question, I was to choose one that you heard tonight. I would...
One of the last... one of the dancing ones.
Oh, you want one of the dancing ones? I was actually going to choose the very first one I did, which was... It starts off with these lines. I have a friend in death. Yes, death is a friend of mine. And it's actually a really enjoyable, warm bath of a song. It's not a dance with misery. It's about embracing death and moving on and actually deciding not to die and to come back. And I only wrote it on Monday.
Okay.
And it just came to me. It took me 10 minutes to write, and it's probably one of the best things I've written. So.
Okay, what was that?
Do you want me to sing a bit for you? I have a friend in death. Death is a friend of mine. She knows that she's all I got left, but sometimes she changes her mind, etc.
Etc.
Yeah.
Okay, and now to the...
Okay. Externally of me, favourite song. That is really unfair. It's like asking which of the 17,000 children you've had would you like to survive, but you only get to choose one, and the rest die. I could insert really uncomfortable German references here, but I'm not going to, am I? Correct. So, what would I go? Favourite song? I'm going through a massive 80s thing at the moment, anybody that doesn't like Phil Oakey and Giorgio Moroder doing Together in Electric Dreams does not have a heartbeat and does not have a soul. That can be my favourite song for today.
Okay. And now we want to play that song, and I'll say thank you very much for that interview.
You didn't tell me that was going to happen.
Yeah,
You're
of course.
Man,
All right.
thank you. I appreciate meeting you. I appreciate you talking to me. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you very much.
Das ist eine schmale Brücke.
Schmale Brücke. Wie sagst du Kackritze? Spundwitze.
No. Hang on. I need something, don't I? So I need to think of one. I'm doing this to maintain not radio silence. Whatever the opposite of radio silence is, that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm doing this and thinking of songs at the same time. Germanic references, Rammstein. I am going to go with... I've got the Rick so good in my mind, but so good. But I don't want to go for low-hanging fruit. I could go for America, but I'm not going to. And I could go for Moscow, because you and I had a conversation about that earlier.
But I played it already on my show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tit for tat. So I will go... Ich tu dir weh. I'll go there.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a friend in death. Yeah, death is a friend of mine. She knows that she's all I got left, but sometimes she changes her mind. By the time I crossed the line, and the time I crossed my wires, she laughed at my misfortune and just waited outside. But she knows, yeah, she knows that I've only got 10 good years before I fade away. I've only got 10 good years before she takes me away from here. So I put my hand in hers, and we walked amongst the fire. I asked her about the bees and the birds and the things that raised my ire. She answered impatiently back, boy, you got things to do. Why'd you bother me with this shit when you know I do too? And she knows, yeah, she knows that I've only got 10 good years before I fade away. I've only got 10 good years before I leave this place. It's not that I wanna go, but I don't wanna stay. It'd be nice to have some alternative, but there's nothing on offer today. So I stroked her hair as she slept and decided to walk alone. And I pondered my very existence as I left my home. And I thought of my wife and child, and I thought of a life less lived. And I thought I'd go back and try again to see if I've only got 10 good years before I fade away. Yeah, I've only got 10 good years before she takes